Well, here we are, back at the Loan Officer Breakfast Club, talking Tigers baseball, of course. That's what we're doing here this morning. Feel free to let your thoughts be known in the chat about that in any way, shape, or form. We're always open to hearing your opinions about sports and your favorite team and your least favorite team, whatever. We don't care. But welcome to the Loan Officer Breakfast Club this morning. It's Thursday. It's May 15th, man. Thursday, 2025. We've, of course, got Owen Lee in the house today. Learn some stuff about the mortgage market. See what's going on there. See what's happening. He's got his finger on the pulse as always. And I would like to remind anyone who might be listening to this on the podcast, either iTunes or Spotify or Google or the Loan Officer Podcast Network, whatever it might be, to feel free to tune in with us every Monday through Friday live on the Zoom call by going to loanofficerbreakfastclub.com. You know, we're getting a lot of plays on the podcast. I didn't even realize that. I was talking to Carl and Diane yesterday, and we just kind of went over the numbers, and it's like it's only been physically available for not even 2 weeks or something like that. There's already almost 1,000 plays on it. I was like, well, really? I was like, that's pretty good, you know? So I'm pretty impressed with that. So if you are listening, don't hesitate to join us live Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern time, if you can make it. I know it's a little early for some, but if you can make it, right? If it works out for you, loanofficerbreakfastclub.com. Hey, so let's get right to it. Owen, this is one of my favorite parts of the day. So what I'm going to let you do, Owen, since you're our guest, I'm going to let you pick on someone. I'm going to play the pick music. Pick someone to share a win. Who are you seeing? What do you like?
All right, I might just listen to the music there for a second. I'm going to pick Sue Moody with the Detroit Tiger emblem in the background.
Okay,
I gotta go with
Sue Moody with a Detroit. So here we go, Tigers again. Man, we haven't even gotten through 2 minutes of this show, and we've already, been on Tiger Mania, already.
Right.
So whatever, good stuff. Hey, well, they're doing great, right? You said best record in baseball.
Best record in baseball. Yeah.
Wow. Pretty cool. Pretty impressive. So, Sue, what are your feelings on that? So, Sue, here's what you can do. What you're going to do is, I want you to share a win, but then after you share your win, you get to pick somebody. So, What's your win?
Okay. Well, I'm counting it a win because I feel like that's what Steve would say.
Okay.
So, it only works all the time. And I have, for my Tuesday updates, every week for the past 3 weeks, the customer has given me a lead.
What?
And I've talked to them and they've made application, but unfortunately they're not quite there yet. But I feel because it was a true other customer lead that I'm helping, that they're listening to me and doing what I'm saying to be ready.
So,
and then
my
Wednesday call,
okay.
I got my Wednesday calls. I got there's going to actually be two different couples are getting divorced, and I'm going to get 3 loans out of that. They're not quite ready there either, but it will be. So
yeah. On the Tuesday call, was it one client that's referred you 3? Really?
The main borrower. Yep.
Main borrowers referred you 3 people already.
Yes.
Goodness gracious. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, man. Yeah. It just goes to show you. And this is, okay. So here's a great, Kristen and Jen.
Ask.
Yeah. You got to ask Kristen and Jen. Here's what I want to emphasize here is this is precisely why you call both borrowers, right? If you got a borrower and a co-borrower, you call them both, right? Now, Sue, hit the mother load with this particular borrower on this transaction. This person was is it a couple borrowing, co-borrower? Borrower, co-borrower? Yeah.
Yes.
Is it a typical husband-wife kind of a thing, or what is it?
The wife is the main borrower, and she's the one that's doing all the work.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, it's a husband-wife thing, right?
Yeah.
So the wife in this case is the golden goose, right? So she is referring like crazy. But this is precisely why we ask both, right? And I don't know if you're doing that, Sue, but that's a good thing to do on all the files, because if you ask both, you never know. Because if you were calling the husband in this case, right? Because you might think to do that for some reason, and not calling the wife, right? Where would we be? We wouldn't have 3 referrals, right? We just simply wouldn't. So that's why we do that. So, man, congratulations on that. That's great stuff. And here's the other thing too. Here's the other thing I'd say is, and I know Owen agrees with me here, which is the most important thing, is that even when we get the referrals, right, and we're talking to that referral for the very first time, I would encourage all of you, because I've practiced this and it works beautifully. Anytime you get a referral, do yourselves a favor. And if you're not doing it already, on the very first phone call, before you say goodbye, ask if they have any family, friends, or coworkers that might be looking to buy, sell, or refi. On the very first call. A lot of times we think, oh, we got to build a little more rapport. Maybe I'll do it on the next call or 4 calls down the road. Or if we get something started, then I'll do it. Trust me, don't. Just on the very first call, if you have a pleasant conversation before you hang up, just go, hey, before I let you go, it's been great to meet you, and I'm going to help you out as best I can. But can I ask you a big favor? Sure. If you happen to come across any friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy, sell, or refi, can I count on you maybe to connect me to them as well? I guarantee you're going to get people on the very first phone call to say, yeah, sure, no problem. And you'll get people to go, hey, as a matter of fact, I know somebody right now, right? It does happen, right? Owen, would you agree with me?
Totally. Yes. You got to ask.
You got to ask, man. You got to ask. All right, so good stuff. Congratulations, Sue Moody. Great stuff. But now, Sue, we're going to go one more, Owen, before we bring you on, because I just want to get one more, Sue. Who you picking?
Let's see. Let's do... How about Melissa Kerbal?
Melissa Kerbal. Are you with us? Where are you?
I don't see you. I knew she was going to pick me, but I could feel it. I could feel it.
Well, welcome, and how are you?
I'm great.
Great.
But she shouldn't have picked me. I don't
you don't. If you feel like you don't have a win, you can pick. Do you want to pick someone?
Yeah.
Okay. Who are you going to pick? All right, no problem. We hope you get a win. We're rooting for you to get a win. So, right. But now you can pick somebody else if you want.
Carol Chase.
Who?
Carol Chase.
Carol Chase? Is it Carol Chase?
Carol. Carol.
Carol Chase. How you doing? Are you with us, Carol? Can you unmute? This is fun.
Yeah, I'm here.
What's going on? How you doing?
Not much. Just joining in.
Wait, I gotta tell you, Carol just signed up for Mortgage Marketing Animals very late last week.
Oh,
that's a win for the week.
That's a huge win for Carol.
Yes. That's a win. That's a win.
You know, we're going to make changes on the t-shirt giveaways.
Uh-oh.
We're going to give them away to members. That's what we're going to do. And since Carol is new and she just joined, what do you think? What do you think, team? Should we give her one?
100%.
Congratulations, Carol. You got picked. Melissa, you really helped out Carol here. Great job. Thanks for that. So, Carol, you got a t-shirt. You joined MMA. There's wins already. So you've already won 2 times. Any wins you can give us, though? Something recent that's that you can share with us?
Not off the top of my head right now.
What?
Sorry.
Nothing outside of joining. Why'd you join Mortgage Marketing Animals? What were you thinking? What Kool-Aid did you drink? What's going on?
Just kind of, I've been in the business for now like 20 years, but just kind of rebooting.
Good.
You know, just restarting and learning some new things, just kind of reinventing myself. So
wonderful. Good news. And so you just started?
Yep, just started.
Okay. Yep. You going to jump on Call Stars today?
Yes.
Good for you. Congratulations. Another win. Another 3 wins from Carol this morning, if we're going to be honest. Carol, thanks so much for sharing, and good luck. And thanks so much for joining us at Mortgage Marketing Animals, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Enjoy that t-shirt, too.
Thank you.
If you're getting value from this already, go ahead and tap that like button. It helps more loan officers find content that actually makes a difference. And hey, if staying ahead of the market and learning what's really working in our industry matters to you, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss another episode. We read every comment, so drop your thoughts down below. We'd love to hear from you and know what's working or what you'd like us to cover next. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you here next time. All right, man. Well, let's go ahead and get to Mr. Owen Lee on the Mortgage Market Update. We'd love to hear what's going on, Owen, but before we do have to see the new attire. Okay, you're sporting another tie. That's notable.
Another
what is it?
Tie.
What is this?
My Villanova tie. The first time I've joined everybody since we have the new Pope. I don't know how many of you follow that kind of stuff. We follow it in my house. But the Pope and I went to the same college. So,
wow.
You know,
it's just another accolade to add to Owen's list.
Yeah. Wow,
yeah, the
that's
only
cool.
problem is he's texting me all the time with questions, and It's just, but sometimes it's more trouble than it's worth. But
yeah,
we try and support him.
Is he hoping to get on the show, Breakfast Club? Is he hoping to get on Breakfast Club?
He did mention he wants a booking, and I said I may know a guy. I don't know.
May know a guy. Well, I don't know. We're pretty booked up. We're pretty booked up, so we'll see. Anyways, what's cooking, brother? What's going on?
Yes. Well, we've got some market news. It's a bit challenging, but there are some definite bright spots. So we're going to talk about the challenges and the bright spots, and Jen's going to throw up a chart. I don't have any of my typical charts today just because it's a little bit of the same thing. So, but before we get to this, you can just see mortgage rates today. They've been edging higher the last few days, and I think what is really happening is you're seeing tariffs and you're seeing the so-called big beautiful bill are really driving everything right now. We had a jobs report earlier this month that was fine, something like 175 or 177,000 jobs, whatever the heck it was, a downward revision to the previous month. Wasn't setting the world on fire, wasn't horrible, didn't really move the market. We had CPI inflation this week, pretty gosh dang tame report. Normally that would be good for mortgage bonds, but mortgage bonds decreased that day and yesterday, and that, as you know, drives the rate to the points up, because the stuff that normally drives the market is not driving the market now. We talked about that reallocation, what's happening with the tariffs, kind of Trump trying to reset the world trade order, if that makes any sense. And the other thing is that that tax bill is really driving the market. People want to see, what's happening. I know I'm doing a lot of work with the Mortgage Bankers Association on the tax bill, lobbying behind the scenes. So far things are going pretty well for the mortgage industry in that bill. Most of the things that we want retained are being retained and or extended. So that's really a good thing. But the mortgage rates are staying in the same range, right? We're a touch below 7. You maybe have some discount points on there to stay a touch below 7. You don't get much premium for climbing the sheet because they don't want higher rate mortgages because they think they're going to refinance quickly. We're at the high end of that range right now. And, the crazy part is, when we were at the low end of that range in early April, about 5 weeks ago, I really don't know what fundamentally is different. There's not much. We have a big, beautiful bill now. We knew we were going to get a big, beautiful bill 5 weeks ago. We have tariff fight. We actually have a little bit of a pause with China. We knew we were going to have a tariff fight with China. It's just the uncertainty that's driving the market. It's staying in that range. It's going to be up and down. We're on a little bit of an upswing right now, but that's okay because of the next information that we have. So I'm going to share a little bit of other information. Jen, if you could advance the slide, that'd be fantastic. Demand is really staying firm, even with the elevated rates. And this Logan, who wrote this article in the Housing Wire, I completely endorse what he says. If somebody would have told me at the very beginning of the year that for the first 4.5 months of the year, we'd be between 7.25, which is kind of where we were toward the opening of the year, and basically 6 5/8, I would have guessed lower activity from the previous years, but that's not what's happened so far. Here's the actual facts from the MBA. Jen, if we can get to the next slide. We're actually riding above on purchases. So we were just talking about wins from realtors. We were just talking about asking for referrals from borrowers, especially ones who are going through the home buying process. You look at that 2025, this is a chart from the Mortgage Bankers Association. You can see that 2025 line has been riding above 2024, all but really 2 weeks of the year so far. And they were in early January when rates were more elevated. So, those of us that are doing call stars, those of us that are doing the alliance, those of us that are implementing all of our prospecting, doing it every day religiously, you're riding the wave from this. I just see Vinny in the chat, events-based market right now. I would agree with that, but the events aren't our normal events. They're tariffs and the big, beautiful bill. But we're still riding higher in purchase applications. And I know there's majority of the 383 people that are on this call right now are purchase-based. And that is boding well for us, and it's especially boding well for the people that are doing their prospecting on a daily basis. So the demand is definitely there. Let's look at one more slide because this is also good news. Look at this inventory. We've been talking about inventory being suppressed for 3.5, 4 years, inventory being defined as homes for sales. We're finally catching up. You guys see that green line where our line from this year, from 2025, just crossed that green line? That green line basically signifies the start of COVID, right? 5 years ago, we were just coming out of 15 days to slow the spread. The market was still crazy. We were still social distancing and, going to the side of the road when someone else was walking their dog the other way, all that kind of crazy early COVID stuff. But now we're crossing the Rubicon, right? We're getting back to, if you draw that line to the left, pre-pandemic levels of home inventories for sale. This is by far the most we've had in the last 5 years, and that bodes well for the purchase demand. So, when you talk about prospecting, when you talk about, your realtors and the phone calls you're making, send them these slides, especially the last two. This is information that they're going to want to use with their spheres of influence to encourage them and say, hey, I know you think that mortgage rates are elevated and maybe they are just a touch right now, but look at the demand that's going on in the market. There's a lot of people buying. There's a lot of home for sales. It's a good time to get out there and look. So I would encourage all of you, there's plenty of white space on these slides, especially slide number 3 and number 4. Slap your information on it, send it to your referral sources, and talk to them about it. It's a great reason to talk to them about it. Ask to talk to prospective buyers about this information. Right now, even though rates are a touch elevated, we have a good story to tell in the purchase market. And so rates are the same. When are the rates going to start to move towards their traditional markers? I don't really know. I'd say 2 to 3 months after the so-called big, beautiful bill passes and after we get some resolution on tariffs that isn't a 90-day pause. 90-day pause is great, but, it's probably great if you're manufacturing toys in China and you want to get them over for the Christmas season early. Great. Not great for major indices of the market because it's just, it's a scoop of uncertainty on top of an uncertainty Sunday. So I think it's going to be the back half of the year before we get the mortgage market back to responding to the things, to the monthly reports, to the CPI, to the jobs report, to the PCE, to the things that it normally responds to. But we're building a story of inflation being tame, 2 really good inflation prints in a row the last couple of months. So when they start paying attention to the traditional things, whenever that is, 3-4 months down the road, it should be good for home mortgage interest rates. So keep doing your prospecting and you'll keep winning because of it.
Yeah, super interesting. Yeah, because I remember reading an article. I think it was Mortgage News Daily. They do very, they'll do very little short updates, pretty small articles. And it was something along the lines as like no news is good news for the bond market right now. Like, doesn't matter what the news is, it just sucks. You know what I mean? It's stuff that should be great for us is like not doing that, and so interesting.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I was watching CNBC when the CPI came out, and and again, I'm not Barry Habib. I'm not Market Watch. I'm not one of these people that can predict the next 10 basis point move or anything like that. But I've been in the industry a long time, and you see the low CPI print, and you're like, yes, it's going to be a good rate day, and then it's not. And you're like, hey, what's going on?
What the heck?
Turned my industry upside down. That's right.
Oh, man.
Anyway, but the demand is there. I mean, the purchase applications the numbers are there. The home inventory numbers are there. Those are hard. That's hard data. So use that. Talk to your realtors about it. Talk to people in your pipeline about it. Talk to people in your realtors pipeline about it. Slap your name on that information. Get it out there.
Yeah.
Just keep pounding it. I promise you will be successful. I see it time and time again. So
good stuff. Hey, anyway. Owen, thanks. Jen, can you drop the slides in for everybody, please, into the chat? We'll drop the slides in there. But Owen, I wanted to bring this up too, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this in the chat. Is the demand is high? Right, I've been seeing it in the news every day too. It's like, man, it's still high. The mortgage demand is still high, and inventory is increasing. Right, so we're seeing inventory raise up as well. Locally here in Northern California, what I am seeing in our business is that it's definitely making the flip from seller to buyer, right? It's definitely heading that way. So I think the demand is just, even though the rates are maybe the high sixes or what have you, they're like, yeah, but I can get that house a little cheaper, and I can get closing costs if I want closing costs. I can get some seller concessions now. So it's getting them to move, it's getting them move. And there's more to pick from, right? There's more to pick from.
That's right.
So I think that's, and I'd love to know what your guys' thoughts are in the chat on that. Is that what you're seeing? Are you seeing prices kind of ease up a little bit in your area? Are you seeing more seller concessions, that kind of a thing? So what do you think about that, Owen?
The national data is it's flipping to a buyer's market in most areas of the country, except for the Midwest and the Northeast.
Okay.
I'm not 100% why that is. Historically, the Midwest, which is where I live, is usually a little bit less expensive than many other areas of the country, but we still are in a seller's market here. If you look at some of the stats from the New York, New England area, they're kind of still in the seller's market, but there's some major markets, Texas and Florida, other areas of the Southeast, California, Oregon, Washington, are all flipping to buyers markets.
Yeah. So
Owen, can I ask a question? And I'm not trying to be negative. In 2008, like, if there's a few people on here that probably lived through that, we did see that,
including me.
Right. We did see that, or at least I felt like we saw that downturn first in, like, I'm just going to use Florida as an example because I'm licensed in Florida and Connecticut, two completely different markets right now. Do you think it's making its way up the coast? Not that we're going to see a 2008, but do you think we're going to see a leveling off of things, or, because we are not in a buyer's market in Connecticut. We're not even close. We're like still multiple offers, people being ridiculous with their offers, waiving mortgage contingencies.
How's your inventory there, Joanne? Are you still tight on inventory?
We're still very tight.
Okay.
I mean, a 3-bed, 1-bath house, 1,000 square feet on a slab, no garage, 22 offers.
Wow. Thoughts, Owen?
I would just say this. They've got some things going on in the Southeast and Texas that are harming them more than other areas. You're getting a lot of homeowners insurance increases, and because there's areas that might get a hurricane or something like that are more densely populated, and the cost of fixing, the cost of construction has gone up. The cost of building materials has not come down substantially to pre-pandemic levels. They rose, they stopped rising, but they parked elevated. So, you've got some things where, all of a sudden, I got $175 extra per month in my homeowners insurance or something like that I think some of those markets are dealing with. And then you did see in the pandemic a lot of people flood south and to the southeast. And I think that there's a little bit of a hangover effect from that. Why the Northeast and the Midwest is still a buyer's market, I don't really know, but it is. I couldn't tell you why everybody in Connecticut wants to buy and nobody wants to sell. But I agree with you that if you look at the stats, the Midwest and that New York, New England, markets swing. And I do believe it'll swing. Whether it'll move its way up to the coast, I don't know. The 2008 thing, there are some similarities, but that was driven by such different factors, right? We had an imploding economy at home. The federal government stepped in, and that was the first time they manipulated the interest rate market with quantitative easing. And they had HAMP and HARP and, all those loans for people that could refinance, even though they were 100, 10, 20, 30% underwater. There was a lot of government manipulation in that market that we don't have any government manipulation right now.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff, man. Thank you, Owen. Thanks for all the insights, man.
Joanne, that's a really long answer for I'm not sure, but it is true what you're seeing.
I always appreciate Thursdays, so I appreciate you, Owen, and your insight on things. I have
my best morning of the week. It's my best morning of the week. Thank you.
I have a loan officer assistant who convinced me last Thursday. I said, let's lock, because Owen said I'd rather lock than and explain that the rates went up, or however you put it, and it's ingrained in my mind. And I listened to him, and I didn't listen to you. And I'm more than a little stressed this morning. So, but I'll get through it. I've been in this business a long time.
Right.
I'm sure. Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
All right. Good stuff. Okay. Thank you, Owen Lee, everybody. Owen, are you good for next Thursday? Just check with you now so I don't forget. But are you good for next Thursday so far?
So I have a kind of a cool thing next Thursday. I love you all, but I'm heading to Ireland with my two sons. And my youngest child is doing a summer study abroad program at the Notre Dame campus in Dublin. And I think his dad needs to take him over there to drop him off.
I would say so. I mean, you don't want to leave him unattended. Not at all. Yeah.
That's right.
Well,
so
cool.
I may or may not be drinking a cold beverage this time next week.
That's all right. No problem. No problem. We'll just get the slides over. And we'll just have Kristen do it. Yeah, she'll do the presentation. Yeah, she's got this.
I think Joanne can take my spot.
We should. Sure. Yeah, or Brad. He's always chiming in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's right. There's so many smart people on this call. I appreciate all of you.
I could explain the slides, but I'd rather Owen go live so we can all be in an Irish pub and have a beer.
That would be cool.
Well, maybe we'll do that. We'll check out the Wi-Fi.
You'll be top of the morning to you. We'll be the rest of the day to you.
The rest of the day to yourself. That's right.
All right. Well, good stuff. Owen Lee, always a pleasure. Thank you. We'll miss you next week. Hopefully back the week after that. We'll get some high powered somebody, something or other in here.
500 anyways. That's
Marcia. There you go. Swinging a deal. First thing in the morning is what we like to see. Oh, yeah. All right. Owen, thanks. Do anybody need the slides one more time before we get out of here? Anybody need the slides one more time? Let us know in the chat. So we don't. Yes, there's a yes from Tom. So one more time, Jen. Thank you for being so. Yes, look at all the yeses. Yes. So there it is. The slides are officially in. So hopefully you can see them in the chat and download them. They're right there in the chat, you guys. She put it in. Get them, download them. What else did I want to talk about? Let me see. There was something else I wanted to say before.
Oh, I have something.
What do you got?
Today on The Complete Loan Officer, Meg and I have a special member guest, and we're going to talk about how to use reverse mortgages in your business.
Interesting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Reverse?
Yeah, I think it'll be a really good one.
Yeah. Well, we've got some reverse mortgage specialists here at Breakfast Club. So yeah, it's a great niche, and it's a cool thing to know, even if you're not going to specialize in it, how you can make money with it. Yeah. So Great one. That'll be a fun one. That's at 2 p.m. Eastern.
It sure is.
And that's at Mortgage
Members can
Marketing.
register on the website.
There you go. MortgageMarketingAnimals.com. Go to classes. That's how you can join. That'll be really, really cool. Chris Johnstone tomorrow. What's in store?
Oh, we got a big announcement coming tomorrow. So we're going to talk about how to get unlimited qualified real estate agents and how to launch them in the loan officer CRM. And we're going to be talking about how to automate the follow-up and using a power dialer to make those calls. So taking the slides from today and crafting a message that goes out to qualified agents, how to have a list of all those qualified agents so that when you come and Owen gives us great information like this, how to quickly and easily get it out to every single qualified agent in your marketplace. And we're going to go over a big announcement tomorrow. So it's going to be
unlimited. All right, great. Before we go, one last thing. I'm going to say, Krista Russo, pick someone to tell us what we do on Thursdays. You pick somebody. Come on, the last.
I am going to pick Asa.
Asa, what do we do today? What's on the schedule, my friend?
Today is pre-approved and looking day. You call up everybody that you have that's pre-approved and looking. You call both borrowers if there's two, and get them excited about going out and making some offers and looking at some homes. Then you call your realtors that's associated with them and let them know that you got them motivated and ready to go. And sit back and have a cold one at the end of the day.
I love it.
Oh, wait a minute. We need to add that to the DSP. What are we doing?
Sit back and have a cold one.
Should be on the list. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Thank you, Asa. Appreciate that. All right, guys. For the rest of you, we'll be here tomorrow with Chris Johnstone. I hope you have a fantastic Thursday. Pre-approved and lookings. Be sure to ask for the business. That's why we're making the call. Thanks for joining us. Invite your friends. Check us out on the podcast, YouTube, replays, whatever. You guys have a great one. See you here tomorrow. Adios. Bye-bye.
Have a great day, everybody. And apparently, when you're done making your calls, sit back and have a cold one, whatever that is.
Have a cold one.